The galaxy was at war. Entire star systems were burning. Alien fleets, massive and endless, moved from planet to planet, crushing every resistance. No one could stop them. Their weapons were powerful, their fleets countless, and their fear of nothing made them cruel rulers of the stars. Amid the chaos, reports of a strange signal came in. A signal, faint but unusual, from a tiny blue planet at the edge of known space. Earth. Humans? One alien officer sneered, his multi-eyed face twisting in disbelief. Weak, primitive creatures. They cannot even defend a single planet. Why are we even watching them? The officers laughed, their voices echoing across the command chamber of the massive warship Zarkoth. They tossed reports back and forth, mocking every mention of the small human settlements. Their fleets are nothing. Their weapons are toys. They are not even worth our time, said Commander Varkle. Meanwhile, deep in the blackness of space, a small human ship blinked into existence near the edge of the alien-controlled sector. It was tiny compared to the sprawling alien dreadnoughts, almost invisible in the dark. Its hull shimmered faintly, a simple gray design, nothing flashy. Alien scanners immediately detected it. Another human toy, hissed Varkle, scanning the data. Send scouts. Let's see how funny this is. The scouts moved in, slender ships gliding silently toward the tiny human vessel. The aliens expected nothing, ready to destroy it in moments. But the human ship didn't behave like any other known vessel. It moved unpredictably, dodging the alien scouts with speed that made sensors struggle to track it. Impossible, muttered one of the alien analysts. Their engines, they are moving faster than physics allows. This is not possible. The officers exchanged nervous glances, but no one spoke. Pride and arrogance still ruled their minds. They laughed again, though this time it was quieter, less certain. The human ship sent a signal. It was simple, almost harmless. A single pulse of energy that stretched across the scanners. But when it hit the alien instruments, their machines flickered, spiked, and almost shut down. Screens went blank for a second, alarms buzzed. Alert! Something is interfering with our sensors, shouted Varkle, his claws slamming against the console. Identify it immediately. The human vessel moved again. Faster. Sharper. The alien ship struggled to follow. Every time they thought they had it tracked, it vanished and reappeared in another spot. Is this magic? Whispered one officer. He stared at the readings, unable to comprehend the data. Then it happened. The alien commanders finally saw it, an emblem on the tiny human ship. A simple circle with lines inside it, glowing faintly in the dark. It was unmistakably Earth. Varkle froze. His multifaceted eyes widened. It's them? Humans. From Earth. They are here. A strange silence filled the command chamber. The officers could feel it in their bones. Something had changed. The small, weak humans they had dismissed for centuries were no longer just an annoyance. The human ship moved again, faster than ever. A blur in the void, appearing to defy all known rules of space travel. Alien weapons tried to lock on, beams of energy shooting toward the ship, but every shot missed. The human ship weaved through fire and death with precision no alien had ever seen. Varkle banged his claws on the console. Stop them. Fire everything. They cannot. But the human ship was already gone. Just a faint trail of light remained where it had been, almost like a warning in the darkness. Report? Varkle's voice was trembling. Where did it go? No one knew. The human ship had vanished, leaving only one thought in the minds of the alien commanders. These humans were nothing like what they had imagined. Fear spread slowly at first, then grew fast. The galaxy's most terrifying fleet, the ones who had conquered worlds without mercy, now hesitated. The humans, small and seemingly fragile, had shown power that no one could understand. Somewhere on the human ship, a pilot grinned. Come. Focused. The galaxy believed they were weak. They thought no one could stop them. They were wrong. The war had begun, and no one in the galaxy could predict what humans would do next. Varkle and his officers stared at the empty space where the human ship had been, the Earth emblem burning in their minds. For the first time in centuries, the mighty alien commanders felt a flicker of fear. And in the darkness, the humans waited. The galaxy burned. Star systems that once thrived with life were now nothing but smoldering ruins. Alien fleets, countless and terrifying, moved through space like unstoppable storms. Planets surrendered without resistance, civilizations crumbled, and the whispers of hope grew silent. The aliens feared nothing. Their weapons were deadly, their fleets endless, and their arrogance unmatched. Among the chaos, faint signals reached the command towers of the massive alien warships. Strange pulses, weak but persistent, came from a distant blue planet, Earth. Humans? Hissed Commander Varkle, his multi-eyed face twisting with disbelief. Those weak, primitive creatures? Why are we even monitoring them? They cannot even defend their home world. The alien officers laughed, their voices cold and echoing through the command chamber of the dreadnought Zarkoth. Reports of small human colonies and their tiny ships were tossed aside as unimportant. Their weapons are toys, said General Krell, and their fleets are barely even visible. Not worth our attention. But even as they laughed, a small blip appeared on the scanners. A human ship, almost invisible against the backdrop of space, was moving toward their controlled sector. Its hull was simple, gray and unassuming, nothing like the massive dreadnoughts of the alien fleets, but it radiated something strange, almost alive. Another human ship? Sneered an officer. Send the scouts. Let's destroy this toy quickly. We have more important conquests. The scouts, slender and fast, glided toward the small human ship. They expected an easy target, a minor nuisance that would be gone within moments. But the human vessel did not behave as expected. It moved faster than sensors could track. It dodged attacks with precision that made the alien commanders frown. Every time they tried to lock onto it, it vanished then reappeared somewhere else. Impossible, muttered an analyst staring at the readings. Their engines, they are moving faster than physics allows. This cannot be. Varkle slammed his claws against the console. Track it. I want those humans dead. But even as he barked orders, the human ship sent out a faint signal. It was simple, almost harmless, but when it reached the alien systems, the effects were immediate. Machines flickered, alarms buzzed, and for a moment, screens went blank. The alien officers gasped. What is this? Shouted one officer. Our sensors, they are failing. The ship, it is interfering with our systems. The human vessel moved again, faster, sharper, almost like it was dancing through space. The alien weapons fired relentlessly, beams of energy cutting through the void, but each shot missed. Every time the aliens thought they had the ship cornered, it disappeared, reappearing in another location with terrifying precision. Magic? Witchcraft? Muttered an officer, staring at the console in disbelief. And then the emblem appeared. A simple circle with lines inside, glowing faintly. Varkle froze. His multifaceted eyes widened. It's them. From Earth. Humans are here. For the first time, the aliens felt something unfamiliar, fear. Not just annoyance, not just surprise, but real, creeping fear. The humans they had dismissed as weak and primitive were something else. Something dangerous. Meanwhile, aboard the human ship, the pilot sat calmly. His hands moved over the controls with precision, eyes focused, breathing steady. He had trained for this. Every move of the ship was calculated. Every maneuver was deliberate. To the aliens it seemed impossible, almost supernatural, but it was not. It was human skill, determination, and courage. The human ship accelerated, leaving a faint trail of glowing light in its wake. Alien scanners scrambled, trying to follow. Varkle's officers were shouting orders, their voices tense, high-pitched with panic. Lock on. Fire. We must destroy it. But the human ship was already gone, leaving nothing behind but the memory of its speed and the strange, glowing emblem. Where did it go? Varkle demanded, his claws trembling as he hit the console. No one could answer. The human ship had disappeared. The aliens could not predict where it would strike next. They had underestimated humans for centuries, and now their arrogance had cost them calm, control, and confidence. From the shadows of space, another signal blinked. A faint, steady pulse, almost like a heartbeat. It spread slowly across the alien systems, scrambling communications, making their weapons misfire, creating confusion. Varkle's mind raced. It cannot be. They are not even this advanced. How? The officers whispered among themselves. Panic spread like wildfire. The galaxy's most feared fleet, the conquerors of countless worlds, suddenly realized they were unprepared. Something small, fragile, and human had arrived, and it was powerful beyond imagination. Prepare the fleets, one officer said, voice shaking. We must destroy them before they attack again. But deep in the command chamber, Varkle felt a creeping doubt. Could their fleets even stop humans? Could they even survive the arrival of these seemingly weak but impossibly fast ships? A faint smile touched the human pilot's face as he glanced at the console. Earth was far behind, but the galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. The humans, underestimated and dismissed for centuries, had fired the first shot, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Somewhere in the endless black of space, the alien fleets moved cautiously. Every commander whispered the same thought. These humans, they are not what we believed. They are something more. The war had begun, but no one, neither human nor alien, knew how far it would go. And in the shadows, the humans waited, silent, ready. The galaxy thought it was safe. They were wrong. The alien empire believed they had seen everything: war, destruction, rebellion, resistance. But after the encounter with the strange human ship, something had changed. Their fleets moved with hesitation now. Their commanders spoke in whispers. Fear, once unknown to them, began creeping into their minds. But pride was a heavy chain. Commander Varkle did not sleep. His eyes, dark and wide, stared at the holographic display of their sector. Endless red dots lit up the map, representing alien warships. Yet in all that red, one single tiny blue dot blinked, then vanished, then blinked again. The humans. That one small ship had left a scar on his pride. "We must destroy them," he repeated again and again, his voice shaky. Before their next move. But humans had already made their next move. Far away, hidden behind a dying star, a human ship drifted silently. Not the small scout ship from before. This one was bigger, stronger, and armed with something the galaxy had never seen. The hull was black, absorbing light. The engines hummed softly, glowing with a strange blue pulse. Inside, the humans worked in quiet focus. Captain Mara Hale stood at the center of the command bridge. Her eyes were calm, but her voice was sharp. "Prepare the first strike," she said. Her crew did not question. They understood the stakes. Humans had survived on Earth through storms, wars, disasters. Now they were facing an enemy that had conquered galaxies. They could not show fear. A young officer turned toward her. "Captain, are we sure we should do this? If they learn what we can do." "They already know we are not weak," Mara interrupted. "Now we show them we are not afraid." She stepped forward and touched a glowing symbol on the console, Earth's emblem. A circle, crossed by lines representing the first space routes of humanity. It shone brightly. A reminder of home. "Fire engines. Prepare stealth mode." The ship's engines grew louder for a moment, then suddenly fell silent as a shimmering cloak covered the hull. The ship disappeared from sensors, vanishing into darkness. In the alien outpost on the edge of the system, the atmosphere was calm. The aliens believed the humans had retreated. They relaxed, unaware of the silent shadow approaching them. The outpost orbited a barren moon, surrounded by 3 large defense towers. Its shields glowed faintly. Aliens walked through corridors, talking, laughing, still thinking humans were harmless. A bored guard on the tower leaned back in his chair. "The humans will hide now," he said. "They fear us." His friend nodded. "Yes. They are weak." A sharp alarm cut through the room. "Warning. Unknown vessel detected." "What?" The guard jumped up. He looked at the screen. There was nothing there but static. "Sensor glitch," he muttered, annoyed. But the static moved. It slid across the screen like a shadow. Then, boom. The entire outpost shook. Lights flickered. Sirens screamed. Officers stumbled out of their stations. "What is happening?" The shadows separated, revealing the human ship emerging from the darkness, engines flaring with a cold blue light. It moved like a ghost, appearing and disappearing in bursts of impossible speed. The alien defenses fired beams of energy, but the human ship responded faster. It twisted, dodged, and reappeared behind the tower in a blur of motion. Captain Mara's voice was calm. "Target their shield generators. Fire the pulse." A beam of bright white energy shot out from the ship, hitting the generator directly. The shields collapsed instantly. The aliens panicked, shouting over each other. "Our shields are down." "Impossible. No weapon can drop shields that fast." The human ship moved again, faster than their eyes could follow. Boom. Another explosion rocked the outpost as a tower fell apart, pieces dissolving in glowing fragments. Smoke filled the air. Officers staggered, wounded and terrified. "This cannot be," one whispered. "They're just humans, they're just humans." Back on the alien flagship Zarkoth, Commander Varkle shouted as alarms filled his chamber. "Report! Report!" An officer struggled to speak. "Commander, our outpost at Sector 12 is under attack." "By whom?" Varkle roared. The officer swallowed. "Humans." Varkle's body stiffened. "What? How big is their fleet?" The officer stared at the screen. "Just one ship, sir." "One." Silence. Then Varkle screamed, "Deploy all nearby fleets. Destroy that ship now." At the outpost, human engines roared as Captain Mara watched alien reinforcements arriving. 7 massive warships, glowing with energy, guns charged and ready. Her crew grew tense. "They outnumber us," one officer whispered. Mara smiled slightly. "They always outnumber us." She raised her hand. "Initiate Phase 2. The ship vanished. The aliens searched frantically, firing into empty space. Their weapons lit up the void in bright arcs of energy, but they hit nothing. Then, like a ghost, the human ship appeared behind the last alien ship. Fire. A concentrated burst of energy hit the alien vessel's engine core. Boom. The explosion lit up space like a small sun. Alien ships scattered in terror. "What is this power?" one screamed. "How can a human ship?" "Retreat," another shouted. "Retreat. This thing is a demon." Captain Mara watched their panic with cold eyes. "They call themselves rulers of the galaxy," she whispered. "Yet they run from one ship." Her crew looked at her with awe. "Captain, message from Earth Command," a calm officer said. "They want a report." Mara nodded. "Send them this. First strike complete. Enemy terrified. More to come." Her ship turned its engines toward the darkness and vanished again. At the alien command tower, chaos reigned. Varkle slammed his claws into the console so hard sparks flew. "How can this be? They were nothing. Nothing." An officer's voice broke. "Commander, we've lost the entire Sector 12 outpost. One ship destroyed everything." Varkle's breath came out in angry hisses. "One ship, just one, humans." He looked at the glowing Earth emblem recorded from earlier. It haunted him. His arrogance, his pride, his certainty, all shattered. "The humans," Varkle whispered, his voice trembling, "are monsters." The galaxy, once silent, once confident, now spoke in fear. Rumors spread like fire. A single human ship destroyed an entire outpost. They move faster than light. Their weapons break physics. No alien fleet can touch them. The galaxy had feared no one, until now. Humanity had fired its first shot, and the echo was shaking every world. The galaxy was no longer silent. Panic spread faster than light. Messages rushed through diplomatic channels, military lines, and secret networks. Everywhere one name echoed like a nightmare: humans. On the alien capital world, the sky glowed crimson with warning signals. Alarms rang across towers and military bases. Massive screens showed the same terrifying footage. A single human ship dropping shields, destroying towers, and escaping 7 warships with impossible speed. Inside the council hall, where the rulers of the alien empire gathered, tension was thick like fog. High Chancellor Drexler stood at the center of the room. His skin, usually bright blue with confidence, had turned pale. His voice trembled as he watched the footage replay again and again. "Pause," he shouted. The screen froze on the image of the human ship, dark, silent, almost ghost-like, just before it fired the beam that destroyed the outpost. Drexler stared at the image with wide eyes. How can something that small do this?" "Unknown," whispered Advisor Ralph. "Their engines are beyond our understanding." Drexler slammed a fist on the table. "Humans were supposed to be weak, primitive, easy to control." Ralph nodded nervously. "That is what our scouts reported for centuries, High Chancellor." "Then our scouts were fools." Drexler snapped. "Humans hid their true power. They have been preparing in secret." Across the hall, dozens of commanders shifted nervously. Some rubbed their hands together. Others stared blankly at the screens. Fear crawled into every corner of the chamber. General Torineke, a veteran warrior, stepped forward. His voice was deep and slow. "High Chancellor, if humans possess this level of technology, if they have more ships like this..." His words trailed off. Everyone knew what he didn't dare say. The Empire would fall. Far from the council hall, chaos raged in military control rooms. Officers shouted, systems crashed, and maps flickered with red warnings. Commander Varkle stood at the center of the main command chamber, trembling with rage and fear. His claws scraped against the metal floor. He had lost Sector 12. He had underestimated the humans. And now, every eye in the Empire was on him. A trembling officer approached him. "Commander, another report has arrived." "Speak," Varkle hissed. "2 more outposts have gone silent." Varkle blinked. "Silent? Meaning what?" "No contact, no distress signal, nothing. They simply disappeared." Varkle's heart beat faster. "Did humans attack them?" "We do not know," the officer whispered. But the time of silence matches when the human ship disappeared in hyperspace. Varkel's eyes widened. No, impossible. One ship cannot, it cannot. But he knew it could. His pride crumbled inside him like broken stone. Meanwhile, on board the human dreadnought Horizon, Captain Mara Hale stood on the bridge, arms folded, eyes fixed on the empty stars ahead. She had just destroyed an outpost and crippled 7 ships, but she knew the real war was only beginning. The crew worked silently. A calm tension filled the room. Screens glowed with data, holograms of star charts floated in the air, and a faint hum of energy filled the ship. Officer Ryan approached Mara. "Captain, we intercepted alien communications. They're panicking." Mara raised an eyebrow. "Already?" Ryan nodded. "They think we have a fleet of ships like this." A faint smile touched Mara's lips. "Let them believe that." Ryan hesitated. "But Captain, we don't." Mara's smile faded. "Not yet." Ryan swallowed hard. "Earth Command says we need more time to finish the other ships." "Time?" Mara whispered, looking at the stars. "Time is the one thing they will not give us." She turned sharply. "Change course. Set a path for the central sector." The crew stared. "Captain? That's suicide," one of them said. "Their strongest fleets guard the central sector." Mara's eyes hardened. "Exactly." They looked at her, confused and afraid. "The more pressure we put on them," Mara said, "the more mistakes they will make." "Humans do not wait for the enemy," she continued. "We strike when they think we are done." The crew exchanged glances. Fear mixed with pride. This was what made humans dangerous. Back on the alien homeworld, the council hall turned into a battlefield of arguments. "They are demons," one admiral shouted. "No one can move that fast." "They have weapons that break physics," another wailed. "We must destroy Earth," screamed a general. High Chancellor Drexler slammed the floor with his staff. "Silence." The hall froze. Drexler's voice shook with fury. "We cannot strike Earth. We do not know how many ships they have. We do not know what power they hide." He turned to the science division. "What do we know about their technology?" A nervous scientist stepped forward. "Only one thing, High Chancellor." "And what is that?" Drexler demanded. The scientist looked around, his voice trembling. "Their weapons, their movement, their energy signatures. They do not match anything in known technology." "What do they match then?" Drexler asked. The scientist swallowed. "They match nothing. They are new." A hush fell over the chamber. Drexler felt cold. "You mean humans invented something no one has ever seen?" "Yes," the scientist whispered. "And they did it under our noses." The council erupted again in fear. "Then they know our weakness. They studied us in secret. They waited until we were distracted by the war. They could destroy us." Drexler listened as panic flooded the chamber. He had never felt so helpless. The empire he ruled, feared by billions, was shaking because of one small species from a forgotten blue planet. He closed his eyes. "How many human ships do we estimate?" The science team exchanged terrified glances. We do not know." Drexler's lips parted in horror. "You cannot be serious." "We don't know, High Chancellor," the scientist repeated. "If they can hide one ship, they can hide more." The Chancellor staggered. "Then we are blind." Commander Varkel entered the hall, exhausted but determined. "I have a plan," he announced. The council turned to him, desperate for hope. "We will send the Imperial fleet to Earth," he said. "Destroy the planet. End the threat before it grows." The hall buzzed with whispers. But suddenly, a hologram flickered to life at the center of the room. A message. Encrypted. Unknown source. Every commander stepped back. Drexler leaned forward. "Play it." The hologram stabilized. A human appeared. Captain Mara Hale. Calm. Focused. Unafraid. Her eyes pierced every alien in the chamber. "This is Captain Mara Hale of the human dreadnought Horizon." Images of destroyed outposts appeared behind her. "You attacked our people. You invaded our space. You believed humans were weak." Her voice turned cold. "You were wrong." Every alien went still. Mara leaned forward, her voice hard as steel. "We will not run. We will not hide. If you come for Earth." She paused. "We will burn your skies." The hologram cut. The aliens froze. No one breathed. Then pandemonium. "Shut it down. Seal the chamber. Humans have breached our systems." "How did they transmit into our council?" Alarms blared. Lights flickered. Drexler's legs shook. Humans were inside their network. Inside their homeworld. Inside their mind. The galaxy had feared no one. Now they feared Earth. The war zone around the Terran ship twisted like a nightmare. Pieces of alien cruisers floated in every direction. Flames burned in silent space. Every alien officer inside the command carrier felt the same fear. This human was not normal. Commander Val forced himself to speak. His voice shook, but he tried to hide it. Target the Terran ship, now. But the gunners did not move. Their hands froze over their controls. Their screens showed something impossible. The human dreadnought was splitting into 3 ghost-like shapes, each one moving in a different direction. It should not be possible. Sir, I can't lock it. It is everywhere, a gunner whispered. His voice cracked. Val slammed his fist on the console. It is a trick. Humans cannot do this. But deep inside he knew the truth. Humans could do something the galaxy never understood. On board the Terran ship, only one human sat alone in the dark command chair, Captain Jace Renner. His eyes glowed blue from the neural link. He was still and calm, almost like he was part of the ship itself. He spoke softly. Phase shift level 3. Keep them guessing. The ship responded to his voice like a living creature. Outside, the alien fleet fired everything, beams, plasma, torpedoes, filling the space with bright destruction. But every shot passed through empty air. When the smoke cleared, the Terran dreadnought appeared behind them, silent and deadly. The aliens panicked. How did it get there? It was in front of us. Commander, it is breaking logic. Physics does not allow. Commander Val shouted, silence. Hold formation. But no one listened now. Every screen showed the Terran emblem, bright, sharp, ancient. An Earth symbol they thought was dead. Meanwhile, the dreadnought charged a weapon no alien sensors could understand. Blue rings pulsed outward like ripples in water. Alien scientists screamed into their comm channels. Commander, that energy is unknown. It is bending the local space. It can crush our drives. It can break our shields. The entire bridge buzzed with fear. Commander Val's voice finally cracked. Do they want to destroy us? Why are humans doing this? Another officer whispered, Sir, they warned us. We did not listen. Val stared at the screen. And now, what will they do? Captain Jace Renner's voice echoed inside the Terran ship. Come, Colt. We will not start this war. But we will end their arrogance. He pressed a command. A bright shockwave slammed across the battlefield. Alien ships spun out of control. Some engines died instantly. Some shields collapsed. Space itself trembled. But the shockwave did not kill. It only disabled. The aliens floated helplessly, powerless. Val stared at the crippled fleet around him. They spared us? For the first time in his life he felt something he never expected from humans. Mercy mixed with unstoppable power. Before anyone could speak again, the Terran ship vanished in a flash of blue light, leaving silence behind. Every alien officer looked at the empty stars and realized a single truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not primitive. Humanity was something the galaxy could not predict. And they had just fired their first shot. The real war was only beginning. Silence spread across the battlefield like a disease. Disabled alien ships floated in chaos. Lights flickering, engines cold, life support failing. Crew members watched their dead screens, unable to believe what they had just seen. Commander Val stood in the center of his broken bridge. Smoke drifted from the consoles. Sparks hissed from torn wires. Every officer stared at him with wide, frightened eyes. The Terran dreadnought had vanished, but its shadow still hung over them. Repair teams, Val whispered. Bring this ship back online. No one moved. Not because they did not want to, but because none of them could stop shaking. An officer finally forced words through trembling lips. Commander, humans have technology that bends space. How did they hide this for generations? Val had no answer. His claws pressed so hard into the railing that metal bent. His voice barely rose above a whisper. They waited. They watched. They prepared. Another officer added quietly, we mocked them, for centuries. Light suddenly flashed on Val's emergency screen. A message, not a human signal but from their own high command. It read, return immediately. Council in emergency session. Before anyone could react, a second message followed. Bring the Terran data. Do not speak to outer armed forces. Commander Val stopped breathing for a moment. Why were they being silenced? Why was the Council afraid to share this with other fleets? He knew one reason. They were afraid of panic. The crippled flagship limped toward the nearest jump gate. Inside, the crew whispered among themselves. Do humans have more dreadnoughts? Was this only their first warning? What if Earth has a fleet of them? Every question hung in the air like a heavy weight. Commander Val tried to maintain order. Enough. We will not speculate. We will follow orders. But inside his mind he feared the truth, that the Terran dreadnought they saw was only a scout, or worse, a test. Hours later, the flagship arrived at the Council Core. The station was massive, thousands of lights, hundreds of guard ships, shining in a perfect defensive ring. Yet something was wrong. The guard ships were not scanning them. The station seemed too quiet. No broadcasts. No chatter. Commander, one of the crew whispered. Where are the patrols? Val narrowed his eyes. They're here. They must be here. But the cold feeling inside him said otherwise. As they docked, the walkway extended from the station. It stopped halfway, broken and hanging. Emergency lights flickered. Black smoke poured from the corridors. No welcoming officers, no guards, no sound. Only darkness. Val felt his blood chill. Boarding teams, with me. Weapons ready. They stepped inside. The moment they entered the main hall, every alien froze. Bodies. Council members, guards, scientists, all lying still. No wounds, no blood. Eyes open as if frozen in the middle of a scream. Commander, what happened to them? An officer whispered, voice cracking. Val stepped forward slowly. He reached the council chamber door. It was marked with a symbol, burned into the metal by something impossibly hot. A symbol every alien feared now. The Earth emblem. The same symbol on the Terran dreadnought. Val's heart slammed against his chest. They were here, he whispered. Behind him the officers panicked. Commander, did humans attack the council? How did they enter our strongest base? Where are they now? Val stared at the emblem and shook his head slowly. This is not an attack, he said in a dead, empty voice. This is a message. He turned back toward them. If humanity can reach the council core, then the war is already lost. And somewhere deep in the silent station, a faint echoing beep started. A life signal. A beacon. Human technology. Still active. The aliens froze as the sound grew louder, closer, steady. Beep, beep, beep. Then a human voice, calm, cold, played through the speakers. We tried to talk. You did not listen. The officers gasped. The beacon flashed brighter. Beep,